I'm waiting for it.
Oh, The Police. That's a great album.
It is.
Yeah.
I found this in my childhood bin in the basement. I was looking for something else, and
bin.
I was like, oh my God, I remember the bin. I brought it out, and it's got I have Rich Gedman's autograph. Who the hell's Rich Gedman, you ask? He was the catcher for the Red Sox. Mid-80s. Got a bunch of dudes' autographs in there, and I got my I've got stuff from elementary school, a pair of elementary school shorts. I tried to get into them, but I got one. I got up to the knee in one leg. That was it.
That would be your rap name, Busta Seams.
Busta Six. Jeff. Funny aside to that, talking about shorts. My shorts have become too small. I wear clothes like every day, the same clothes basically, until they just crawl off me and beg to go in the washing machine. And we're going away this week, and my wife's like, where are all your good shorts? I'm like, I'm wearing them. She's like, they're covered in stains. And I'm like, I know, sorry. So she went out and got me a bunch of new shorts, and I was checking them out, and I pulled one pair out, and I was like, dude, what the hell is that? I tried to put it on. I was like, this is a freaking skirt.
Right.
And she was like, what? I'm like, why did you buy me a skirt? I'll wear it.
Was it a skirt or a skirt?
No, it was a skirt. Apparently, she noticed a stain on one of the new pairs. Yes. She ran back to the rack, grabbing what she thought was another pair, and came back with a skirt. But anyways, now I've got plenty of new shorts and a lovely skirt.
Any just a quick question. Any Bermuda shorts? Do you have any of those?
I am not a fan of the shorts. Dude, when I see a guy in shorts where it's like 6 inches up above his knee,
there's something.
Just like, what?
TMI.
What? I can't. Yeah, I like my shorts long. And I'm not opposed to wearing a pair of capris if I have to.
I mainly do cargo, like a cargo short. It's fine.
Yeah, but you could be a capri guy, right?
Yeah, I don't.
Not with those legs, Jeff.
No,
not with those sticks. No,
I'm like
Ukrainian,
Russian. Like
yeah, you got an ape suit. Do you have an ape suit? It's an ape suit.
It's
what we used to call it.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Where's this conversation going?
Hey, everybody. We got Kylie Brûlée in the house. I hope I'm saying that right. I see the tartan. Hey, the Scots are in the house.
Yes.
And Landon Gardside. Obviously, Miss Allison Clay. Gavin Conkle. He is here, and we
Dan Roth, Sean Berg. Wow.
Yeah. Who the hell are you people? Welcome. We're going to burn an hour of your time today, and you're not getting it back. I can tell you that. So, anywho, we got a great guest today. The show title was The Woman Who Auditioned Twice, But Never Took No. And we'll get into that. And anyways, our guest, before we introduce her, she has nearly 2 decades in a business built entirely on trust. And that business, Jeff, would be
the car business.
That's right. So a buyer has to decide who they're going to believe in seconds, maybe minutes, but I think you get that gut feeling in moments. And I know I do, and I have a lot of opinions on marketing for auto dealerships and vehicles, but this isn't about me. This is about her. She turns struggling dealerships into growth machines, coaches, leaders, people who actually can be followed. She has a strong, practical opinions and a story that you won't forget. Everything that she does kind of stands out. Everything, even from auditioning for American Idol twice and singing on stage with Mr. Keith Urban. So we're going to welcome to the stage automotive strategist and leadership coach with 15 years of turning struggling dealerships into growth machines. She's also the treasurer of WOCAN, Women of Color in Automotive Network. She's known for practical, no fluff insight on culture, messaging, and business development. She's recently changed her hairdo, which I found out only after I posted the picture. I don't know how recent it was, but I was like, wait, what? Okay, hold on. And, as I said, she's auditioned for American Idol twice and sang on stage with Keith Urban. And maybe Keith Urban, if he's around, he'll pop in today. Please put your hands together and give a big, warm dog howl for Erica Bruno-Martin. Oh, no.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me. What an intro.
I know. Boy, the kids got lunch.
Jeez, I don't know if I can live up to this.
My dad used to lovingly refer to me as the valve. He'd do this.
Such a New England father, right?
Yeah, if I didn't pick it up, I just got to shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
He'd start with this, the valve. Turn it down. So welcome to the program. I'm so excited to have you here.
I'm so excited to be here.
We've talked, I don't know, for a couple of years here and there over LinkedIn, and we've engaged on each other's comments and posts and content, and I love having you here. So for anybody, anything that I may have missed, why don't you fill in our audience a little bit about Erica Bruno-Martin and give us the dog and pony quick 101 and what we need to know.
Yeah, so on a professional side, I joke my 9 to 5 is a senior director of key accounts at Recall Masters, where I help dealerships and dealer groups and OEM relationships across basically the Eastern Seacoast. So everything from, single mom and pop dealerships to large, corporate dealer groups as well. So I kind of see it all and I love it. And then my 5 to 9, as the kids say on TikTok, is treasurer of WOCAN, which is Women of Color Automotive Network, which I have been a member and then a part of the board for the last 5 years. And I love it. And then other than that, I'm just, a goofy New England girl that lives in Maine and has 2 cats and lives with my husband and loves to travel and sing and be creative. So actually you can maybe see one right here.
Oh, look at that. Is that Ellie?
This is Ellie. She loves to be a part of everything that I do. So
I love that. I missed it. How many cats do you have?
2.
Ooh. Where's the other
one?
I
have her, my fat boy Dewey. He's a 20-pound cat. So.
He does that.
Like I say, I love him truncated
with his stomach out.
Yeah.
I love that.
Do they stand together and do all that? Like mischief thing?
A little bit now. Yeah. Let's just say, I've had Dewey. So she's the OG. So she's the queen. So she's almost 9. And then we've had Dewey for almost 6 years at this point. But it's probably only been the last year that they've really been like snuggly with each other. So I think they finally, became friends.
Awesome. I had a cat for years. She lived for 24 years, I think. She was a 2-pat cat is what we would refer to her as, because if you went past 2 pats, if you got that far, it was stunning. But if you went past a second pat, she would open you up like a can of tuna. She would just, from appetite to ass, she'd just open you right up. I don't know how many people I had to rush off to the emergency room. Sorry. But now we have 2 cats. They're brothers. They're, what do they call them? Blue Russian cats. They're very pretty. Winston Leandre Bishop and Paul.
And Paul, right?
Fucking Paul.
Poor Paul. Is Paul the middle child?
Yeah. His last name's Genslinger.
Paul Genslinger.
He does have but it's just easier to, I prefer to go outside and yell for Paul as loud as I can.
Yeah.
And if I'm calling Winston Leandre Bishop, it's full name. full on, all the way through. So this is great. I love it. I have a quick question for you to get things started here, and I will encourage everyone who's here, Landon, Kylie, Joshua, Rob, the whole gang, Gavin, Allison, everybody. If you have questions for our good friend here, Erica, please drop them in. If you have car questions, dealership questions, anything, and maybe we'll get around to discussing the untold stories of Keith Urban. But I wanted to ask you off the bat, what was I thinking? Oh, you got 20 years in the about 20 years in the car business. Is there a myth about dealerships that you would, if you could, you'd kill it first, immediately, bang, gone, done? What's that myth?
Oh, I mean, there are so many myths, but I would say
what's the one that you want gone?
It's true.
It's not always terrible people in the car business. Actually, some of the best people I've ever met are in the car business. So, I think that has always been, that's always grinded my gears, to steal from Family Guy. PETA and Lois. Like, we always got a bad rap. And again, not to say that, there aren't the bad seeds, right? Like in any industry. But at the end of the day, I think there are some really incredible people. And I think the people who stay long-term in this industry genuinely want to help others.
Right on.
Yeah.
On. Good one. Good
yeah.
To know.
So like when you walk into, let's say, a struggling dealership, like what's the first thing that tells you there's a problem here before anyone even says anything to you? Like, is there something that you notice right away?
People's attitudes, honestly, is usually the biggest indicator. It's, you can walk into
one of these too. I was just gonna
a bit, right? Like it could be they're just ignoring you, or they're just like, hey, how you doing? Right? Like they're just dejected. And it could be one of two things, right? It could be a situation where maybe they don't have the leadership as invested or the capital or whatever to be able to do the things that they would love to do. And so at that point, it's more getting them to reframe their mindset around whatever it is and think of some new and different ways, right? Or it's a situation that like everything is bad, right? Like everything is bad. And so at that point, it's like, okay, well, kind of like an EMT, like where's the tourniquet? How do I stop the bleeding first? And what's the most vital organ to save? And then we can go from there.
It sounds like you've met my old cat. We got a question.
What can I say? I'm pretty good at that.
Yeah, we got a question from one of our LinkedIn pals. And that question is, Jeff, can you pop up on the screen?
Yeah, is that the one?
I don't know. It's a long question, is what
it's from Dan Roth. Actually, he's got this thing with it. It just says LinkedIn user.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, it is Dan Roth, David Lee Roth's.
Oh yeah, I just saw it.
Twin
Why is it for
brother.
For automakers and dealerships to figure out how to treat women like people? The marketing doesn't seem to understand them, and every time we're buying, the salespeople default to me and not my wife as a person to speak with. Oh my God, this is the most perfect question of my life, because this is the soapbox I will die on because. Not today, hopefully, knock on wood, you never know. Like, hey, I can't predict everything, but I can predict a lot. So what I would say in my personal opinion, right, is that I think it is not a malicious situation that happens, right? Like, it's not like people are consciously going, I'm not talking to her, I'm talking to the man, right? Like, it's not as conscious as that. I think, sorry.
That was my dealership guy sound.
Yeah, that's my dealer bro sound. But
I get you.
I think it's more of a situation. And again, I'm actually a trained. So I went for history and anthropology with a minor in jazz voice for school because I was like, okay, I just have to get a degree in whatever I want. But what I really loved about anthropology was that it truly was the, study and dissection, if you will, of cultures, right? Like figuring out why cultures are built the way that they are, how people have adapted to them, et cetera, et cetera. And especially growing up in car, dealerships, for me, I was like, I want to know why it's the way it is, right?
Yeah.
Like, why has it been this way for generations? And it truly does come down to, it's just not built around women, right? It's just not, a culture that, Ellie, you're messing up everything right now. But
Oh, she's
it's just not a culture built around women, right? So like historically it was usually the man that could buy a car. I mean, think about it. It was what, 1974, I think, the first time a woman could actually buy a car on her own with
That's
credit,
crazy.
right? Which is insane to me. But it's the truth, it's history. And so one of two things. I think we do not have a woman-centric mindset or culture in a lot of dealerships and automakers. And again, I've been in the OEM side of things too. It's very similar. But not only that, you know, you're trying to speak a language you don't speak, right? Like I can understand a bit of Spanish, but I can't speak it. I'm not fluent enough in it. So I'm not going to attempt to speak it, right? Like because I'm not educated enough on it. It's very much the same thing. And you can do one of two things in that situation. You can either admit, hey, I don't know enough to speak it, but will you teach me? Or I don't know enough and I'm too embarrassed to admit that. So I rather just not go into it, right? And so I think that's where, number one, more women in the industry is vital, right? Like to be able to bring that perspective and say, hey, have you thought of it this way? AKA me with Scion. We could go down that ramp, but that's another one. And then you know, of a situation just to ask, like, you know, ask your customers, like, hey, you know, if I could create the most ideal situation for you to buy a car, what would that look like, right? And I think that's where, you know, companies like Carvana and CarMax have done a good job of trying to make it frictionless, right? And it's something that I think a lot of dealerships and automakers could learn from. So
yeah, I mean, I was just gonna say this is so familiar to me. I most of my career was in the consumer electronics industry, and it was audio, video, so loudspeakers and things like that. And it was always like a male dominated category. And when home theater came out, where people were buying surround sound for their home, right, to get that theater experience, I remember in the early 2000s, we would have these sales trainings and we would be talking about the fact that you're not selling gear to the men, you're selling a family experience to the female in the house, right? And so take a different approach. This is about getting your family together to watch a movie and be entertained. For the guy, it was about the gear. That didn't change, right? It was about the sounds and the electronics and all that stuff. But that isn't what was selling home theater at the time. It was selling the experience, the family experience, getting everybody together for 2 hours and to enjoy this, you know, this movie.
It's so funny you say that, because when I moved to LA, I bought my first like major like big screen TV by myself, because I was like, you know what, this is like my treat to myself, because I'm only making so much. I'm gonna have to stay home and like watch DVDs. So, you know, I walked in with my ex-boyfriend at the time, and you know, they're like talking to him. They're like, this one's LED and LCD and this and that, and I'm like going and I'm reading everything. And then he's like, you do know she's the one buying it, right? And he was like, oh. And I was like, yeah, I already looked at the specs on this one, and this one. I want this one. And he was like, well, do you know what that actually means? I'm like, oh, I do.
Oh,
That's
that's crazy.
Unacceptable. Hey, little lady.
Hello.
All right.
I know.
Yeah, that's terrifying. And I mean, the truth is, though, right? And we all know this. The system and our society is built around and for men. And now people are getting their nose out of joint because everyone's waking up to this shit. And it's just, you know, I am all for, frankly, women running the world. Please do really as soon as you can. I mean, when we've gone and leased cars or bought a car, you know, I'm really there for eye candy, frankly. My wife is going to make the decisions and sign that paper. And I want her to, because I want her to be part of the process. And when they start looking at me and talking to me, I'm like, I want to grab them by the face and go, look over her, talk to her, you know?
The first car I ever sold, I sold to a woman who brought her abusive ex-husband into the showroom with her because she was so afraid she was going to get taken advantage of. And so I spent over like think it was like 4 or 5 hours with them, test driving different cars. Because again, I just treated her like a human, right? Like, hey,
Yeah.
what are you looking for? What do you need? This and that. And again, I credit my mom for that. She was like, just treat people like they're a guest, right? And
Right.
so we're on our, I think it was second or third test drive with a Camry or Corolla that I had picked out. And he goes, well, you're stupid, but I wouldn't buy this car. And I was 16, guys, and I had never sold a car. I was literally pushed out from what we called the BDC at the time. And literally I turn and I look and I go, sir, I've been with you for like the last 3 hours. And, she said she wanted this, this, and this. And so that's why I picked out the 3 cars for her, and they would fit within her budget. And frankly, I don't care if you don't like it. I care if she likes it, because she is the one buying the car. And just like, I just shut it down, because I was just like, you are so rude. And like, this is in front of me that I can't even imagine what you're saying to her. No one's around, right?
That's so brilliant. And I mean, there's no need for this. And the whole bro culture thing. I shut someone down the other day. They were getting all bro-tastic. And I was like, why don't you guys take your little bro-tasm and move it over there? And they were like, what? I said, the little bro-tasm you're having together, take it over there. Yeah. And they were like, ew. I was like, yeah, that is pretty gross, isn't it? Now go over there. But what people don't seem to understand is that, again, and this, the way you treat people is the way you end up ultimately being treated. And, for that guy who obviously was excessively ignorant, it sucks that she was afraid she'd get taken advantage of, because that is not the experience anyone should have walking into anything, right?
Agreed. It actually is the reason that I do what I do, because I never want women to have that feeling. I never want them to walk into a car dealership and feel like, oh no, am I safe? Oh no, am I going to get taken advantage of? And that's why I do what I do.
Right. My first question when getting a new car is, or test driving, you want to test drive it. I do, but first I want to slide across the hood. Let me slide across that hood, and then
I wanted to do that so many times.
They're like, you can't. And I'm like, I actually can. Well, and I can't buy a car that I can't slide across the hood comfortably.
Right.
So that's just me.
Now I'm like, there's got to be a business in that, right? Like
sliding across the hood. No, I don't know. I would be too afraid to dent it. That's what I don't want to do that. No.
So as we were talking, trust sensitive, buying a car is one of the most trust sensitive. It's right up there with switching banks. It's something that nobody looks forward to. Or like we've had bank clients that want to like show people how easy it is to switch, and I'm like, you're kidding yourself. Nobody's going to believe that, and it really is never easy. And buying a car is a difficult process, and I know for us having young kids, and I mean, we'd be there for 4.5 hours, and I'm like, why are we still here? Like, what we want to buy a car. What is it about that whole thing where a dealership, what do you think a dealership can do to earn your trust right off the bat? Right before you get there, that initial call or reach out, is there something that they should be doing?
I'll shout out my buddy Landon, who's on the call right now. I think he does a fantastic job at it. He works at a Honda store in Pennsylvania, and it's one of those that he just treats people like humans, right? He welcomes them. He falling off of votes. I could see that actually. I think the way that you build trust in a dealership is, again, education, right? Like if you can educate the customer, because let's get real, buying a car is not only a huge purchase, right? It requires credit, which is very sensitive data. It requires, financial data in general of like, hey, how much can you afford, right? And that's always something that, I think has been a stigma for a long time of like, well, of course I can't afford that. But can you really, right? And I'm not asking that in a rude way. I'm asking that are you going to get yourself into a financial situation that all of a sudden a year from now, it's not going to work for you, right? Or is it my best friend was a great example, who I adore dearly, but let's just say she had a Honda Civic, a coupe, and all of a sudden she was like, I just think I need a bigger car. And I'm like, honey child, like I love you, but I don't think I trust you in a bigger car just because you've always driven little cars. And then we found
Right.
out she was pregnant, right? And so like it was a maternal instinct of like, no, I need a bigger car. And like
Yeah.
even now she still has the car that she bought, but now she's got to get into a bigger one. So then having that discussion of like, okay, what do you need in that other car, right? Like, do you need, and her kids are going to be tall, like her husband's really tall. I was like, no offense, you're probably going to need a minivan. She's like, oh, I like haven't even thought about that, right? Because
Yeah.
it's emotional, it's a total change, and it's also financial. And I think that's the part that sometimes people in this industry forget because they're used to it every single day, right? Like we do this every single day, multiple times a day, and we forget that most people who go to buy a car, it's like once every 2 to 3 years, right? Max, unless they're buying multiple cars for multiple people all the time. But that's very rare. And so I think, you could have the education, aspect. And I think that's a lot of what like the really good influencers in the industry are doing is educating people on it. But also just the sheer fact of like, I tell it all the time. I'm like, who are you? What do you do? Why do you do it? And if you can't answer those 3 questions right away, then what are you doing?
What are you doing? Yeah. Last time I bought a car or leased a car, well, I've been going to the same place now, and you probably know them, Grapponi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, for me, and this has been my point of view since I was doing campaigns for regional dealerships while I was at Disney and doing some of the more national campaigns for Mazdas and things like that. I always was telling them, guys, nobody wants to come to your dealership. You can put out as many candy and coloring books as you like, free coffee, hot popcorn. Nobody gives a fuck. They just want to get in and they get out.
Right.
We're not here to spend time with you. And it's funny because over the course of getting to know people around New Hampshire, I connected with Amanda. She's like the granddaughter of the originals. And we had a great conversation, and I wasn't in the market for a car. I was actually trying to pitch her some of my business services, which lo and behold, she did not need. But we made friends and we went out for lunch and we talked. And I told her about my experience in doing work for other dealerships and cars and what it felt like to me, and that's me as a man, but now you amplify that 5 times for a woman. And I was telling her this, and we had such a great conversation that she didn't have to convince me to go to Grapponi, but she invited me to give us a shot, look around, give us a shot. And I did so. And the experience, we were still there way longer than anybody wanted to be. But like, I had a great experience. And I went back to her and I said, we had a great experience. Thank you. This, that, and the other thing. And, I didn't get any deals. But that's not why that's not what I was looking for. But the long and the short of it is that I go back every time I want to lease a car. It's out of my way to go out to Concord, New Hampshire and do this.
Yeah.
But I'll go there because we made a connection. I haven't seen her. I don't see her when I'm in the dealership, and I don't name drop her, although I will if I have to. But the point is that her team, and this is what I learned from her directly, she took the tenets of what I already knew from Walt Disney, and treating people as guests and treating them with respect and listening. And that was why I always go back. And I think you hit on all those pieces.
It's funny. I actually read an article when I first started with Toyota about Amanda and how she was doing kayaks, right? Because they have the river there. And so some of the people wanted kayaks. And so she was like, let's do it. Like if that helps them to be comfortable while they're waiting for their service or, their car's getting detailed or whatever. And I was like, that is so great. Like, what a great idea. But I think I learned that lesson really well when I was in Lexus. In the Lexus call center was one of my first stops with Toyota. And they were like, literally treat everybody like a guest. I'm like, even if they've lost their keys 20 times and I'm a little concerned that they shouldn't be driving anymore. And they were like, still treat them like a guest. So I'm like, okay, right?
Yes.
That's it right there. That's the long and the short. Treating people like a guest, especially when you're in a service-based industry.
It's also like we talked about this before, empowering your employees to be able to help a customer. So, and I mean, everyone has gone. Oh, look at that! Everyone has gone through this where there's so many layers to just getting help or a decision, and you're just so frustrated from that experience. If someone can be empowered to just help the person out right on the spot, it always makes a difference.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Even Dan is chiming in here to say Amanda Grapponi-Osmer is making a difference in the industry. She really is, and she's a lovely person. If you ever have a chance to sit down with Amanda and have tacos, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I love tacos.
Oh, so you've spent years like reading rooms of skeptical buyers. What did that teach you about people that has nothing to do with cars?
Oh, that is such a great question. I'm trying to
This is
think
not
of.
some fluff piece here. Okay, this
I was
is
just
a
gonna say-
hard-hitting.
Yeah.
Because it's like a
Philips
human
Studio
behavior.
3B
Yeah.
program.
Well,
That's
again,
fine.
so like my dad actually is a trained psychologist, right? So like for me growing up and obviously seeing all different types of people in the dealership, like I already knew there was a world of characters, I think is a good way to put it, right? Like you got everything under the sun.
Yeah.
And so, then walking into more of a business situation, I actually kind of talk a lot about just being another human on the end of the, presentation, call, whatever it is, because of the sheer fact that, we're all dealing with things. We're all dealing, no one's perfect. And even if you're trying to be perfect, it's not worth it 9 times out of 10, right? Because
Yeah.
like you're trying to hold everything together and you're eventually going to explode. And so I was just at the Women in Automotive conference out in Texas, and I actually talked about this in my presentation. And I was like, look, some of the greatest lessons I've ever learned were in my moments of failure, right? Like full on, deep down, back on the ground, don't know how to get back up type of failure. And I feel like when I walk into either dealerships or OEMs or whatever, and everybody's really skeptical, I got to find the root of that, right? Like what is it that you're skeptical about? Do you think that this isn't going to work, or are you thinking you don't have the process for it, the people for it, like whatever it is, that's what I got to solve for. And so
Oh,
she's just
Ellie's got
excited to be a
something
part
to
of it.
say here. Hold
Yes.
on. I would give a shout out to Allison Clay saying that Nordstrom culture was big on, creating curated customer experiences one person at a time.
Yep.
I always approached the dealership marketing aspect, at least as far as, the quintessential radio ad, the no money down, come on down. We've got this, that, and the other, every single color of
Drives
car.
me
And you
insane.
don't even need to have any money. Bad credit, no problem.
Low credit.
Right?
Yes.
We've all heard that.
Yep.
Far too much. And I used to tell the salespeople the ones that got it loved me, the ones that didn't hated me. I would say, we're not doing that. I'm not making that. You can run that, cool. But I'm highly recommending we run something outside of that. And to me, this is where the rubber hits the road for dealerships, is because we're not all in the market for a car 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all year round. It's selective. So when you run that kind of a hard marketing, hard sell ad, you're losing 70% of the audience, right? They're not going to listen.
Agreed.
And you're annoying people.
Yep.
Okay? So whether it's a streaming ad or it's a television ad, God forbid, or radio, which
Right.
oddly enough still exists.
It does.
That kind of an advertisement is such a turnoff to everybody that is not looking for that.
Yeah.
The only way you can avoid the channel change or the stream switch is share a message that people in your core audience share a belief that they believe in too. So if you're trying to offload minivans and you're dealing with a lot of families or stuff like that, the best, to me, the play was don't talk about the caravan. Don't talk about it. Just advertise that, seatbelt safety and installation of child safety seats, doing it right, doing it this way. And at this age, you do this, and the height, weight, whatever the status requirements are. Broadcast that message as a reminder for an audience that you are targeting to think of these things. And all it does is build a bridge between what you are trying to sell and hoping to get rid of, but you're building a bridge of trust between yourself and the people who you're targeting. And when you do that and ask for nothing in return, the most I'd put on these ads, whether they were texting while driving, or I even went so far as to get people to buy into car dealerships, to buy into anti-bullying campaigns at school.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So find me one person aside from, a bully, that would disagree that bullying sucks and we need to stop it. Everybody agrees with that. So,
and I think for me, that's my guiding light is, again, so many dealers are such a huge part of their communities. And that's where they really differentiate from the OEMs or the large groups, right? Is that they're very community centric. And I'm like, why are you not talking about this? And it's not bragging. Yes. It's not that, oh, look, I donated $10,000 to this society or whatever. Right? That's cool. That's good.
That's what banks do.
Yeah. But I've heard of so many dealerships who, good example. I remember when I was a kid, my mom worked with, I think it was a local TV station or something, that a mom whose son had cancer was really looking for a car, struggling, and I forget the show it was now, but they gave her a car, and it came through my parents' store at Hyundai, and she goes, because in those situations usually the dealer contributes a little bit, right? The company will buy it, but the dealer contributes something, and she was like, we just paid whatever it was, because if I was in the same situation with my kids, that's what I would hope for, is that someone would just take care of me, right? And that's a huge thing that I think a lot of dealers do, but they never talk about. And I'm like, that's the biggest marketing. If you never advertised another price, but you advertised who you are, right? Who is your ethos? What is your values? And what you do for the community and for people will run to you.
Yeah, and a great example of that to me is Ernie Bach Jr., who's in Massachusetts.
He's phenomenal.
And his programs in terms of music and schools and
the music
his connection with Berkeley, and
incredible.
The theater that's where everyone who is in that space is thinking about, where am I going to buy my next car?
That's right.
Yeah,
because they have a connection to you, and they make a personal connection, and that's where it's at. Because I can get that car that I want at any dealership across the region. I can get that. And the price is going to be probably
actually.
What's that?
Here I work with S&E here at Recall Masters, and I'm very proud that I work with S&E because not only are their dealers amazing, the people that work for the region and for Ernie are amazing. And during their dealer meeting in just a few months ago, they did a Make-A-Wish where this little girl who's battled cancer 9 times is finally going to get to go to Hawaii and be the princess that she wanted to be. Gentlemen, my mom died of cancer in November. And to tell you the truth, it took everything to not be a sobbing mess in that meeting because it was just not only so beautiful, but just the way, her and her mother were just so incredibly grateful. It took everything inside of me not to be like, this is not about me.
But it's great, right? Because
it's amazing.
It's way beyond what Peter was describing as a marketing plan, right?
That's marketing. What you're talking about is humanity.
Exactly.
Very different.
We're all here for a limited time, and I truly do believe that profit in business is not a dirty thing, right? But you can use it for good, or you can use it for your own advantage. And at the end of the day, what's that for?
That's
right. That's right. So speaking of exit ramps and banging a hard right, if you know what I mean, I want to know.
Not a Yui?
I'm taking a Yui. A Yui. Anybody that's outside of New England is like,
I know. We're gonna be like, these guys are weird.
Banging a Yui, man.
Banging a Yui.
So 2 American Idol auditions. Do you remember what the song was, or what were you thinking really when you went into the room?
So my first one was 16 years old in Washington, D.C. at the Washington, D.C. Convention Center. Spent 16 hours in the basement where they ran out of food and water, and then 2 hours up, finally going to audition to the first round. And I sang Big Blonde and Beautiful from Hairspray. And they were like, wow, you're really good. You can really wail, but you're really young. You should come back next year. And I was like, I just 18 hours in the basement. Like, I was just done. And my mom had joined me. She then left after a while. And then my dad and my sisters had gone out and about, like seen all the things in DC. And they were like, it was so cool. We saw, you know, the Lincoln Monument. And
You were in a
like,
basement.
it's like, cool. I really need some food, right?
Yeah, right.
And
was
then
in
the
a dungeon.
second time I was 21 years old, and I had just gotten accepted to Toyota, and I was about to move to California, but I was like, you know what? Like, this has always been a dream. Let's just see, right? Like, and so I went with a good friend of mine, and we stayed in the rain for 6 hours outside of Gillette, and we finally get in.
Oh,
And I sang I Want to Dance with Somebody by Whitney Houston, and they go, you can really wail, but you're just not the look we're going for this year. And I immediately thought in my head, like, two major things. I was like, you know what? That's fine. I'm really cold. And two, I was like, you know what? This wasn't meant for me then, right? Like, this was not meant for me. I am meant to go to California and to Toyota. And so, you know, like, both kind of were like, oh man. But at the same time, I was like, you know what? This is just the way it's meant to
it
be.
was a sign or whatever.
Well, you did it. You did it. You went. And that is such an enormous, if anybody thinks, you know, I've been banned from singing in public in 48 states. So I can't.
Only 48.
It's just that I'm that good. It's that I'm that bad. And you know, singing is hard enough.
Nice.
I want to feel the heat with somebody.
I love your voice. Your speaking voice indicates to me that you can sing.
Thank you.
I really do love your voice. And that is such an amazing feat. And what were we talking about? The singer, Jeff?
So the word on the street is that you got on stage with Keith Urban.
I did.
I did. So walk us through that. Like, you know, were you like freaking out, or you know, what was going through your head?
So it was the Capital One Auto Party, which I wasn't supposed to go to in the first place, but my friends. So my mom was a huge Keith Urban fan, like loved him, and so my friends were like, "You need to come here, right? Like, this is your moment." Because again, it was only almost 2 months after she had passed, and I was like, "All right, fine. Like, I'll go. I'll hang out. I'll have fun. I'll have a few drinks." And then we're like all hanging out. Keith Urban comes on, and I didn't even hear it actually. But I guess he goes, "Okay, who wants to like come up on stage with me on the other side of the stage?" Right. And he had like picked a guy, but my friends I was with all around me started going her, because like they know I can sing.
Yeah.
And so literally I got like pulled up on stage. I get up on there, and it was the Joker guys, and I literally blanked on all of the lyrics, and I just started repeating one line basically. But at the same time, hey, it worked out really well, and and he loved it. And he was like, "You killed it!
Awesome.
Like, I love it."
That's awesome.
How many people were you in front of?
Oh God! I mean, there was probably 1,200 people in the entire stadium.
That's awesome.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
And you're with, you know, somebody that does this for a living. He's shorter than most people think, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm almost 6 feet. So let's just say I kind of towered over him.
We'd all be shorter than.
That's true.
I'm a mini man. I'm small. And is he still married to Nicole Kidman?
No, that was literally like I think it was right after.
Yeah.
Nicole Kidman. Well, that was right after. Was that after Tom Cruise? God.
That was that was after.
Right?
She must, that was I don't know.
I think she likes little dudes, but that's fine. Everybody,
she likes little dudes.
I'm not gonna yuck. They're young,
hey,
right?
Nothing wrong with those little dudes, you know. In fact, some of the most famous people in the world are miniatures.
That's true.
Exactly.
Prince, David Bowie, Chris Cornell.
They call it fun size for a reason.
That's right. That's right. I love that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think those are when we think about those kind of activities, there's a psychological level to getting on stage or opening your voice and singing in front of people or singing in front of, professional judges. Who were the other judges when you were doing that? It was Keith Urban and whom else?
It was the year Carrie Underwood won, so I think it was the original guys, if I remember. So that's the other thing. You go through like producers and more producers, and then another set of judges, and then you finally get to the judges. But actually, one of the girls I was in line with got through, but that's because she did this weird interpretive dance. So she didn't really sing; it was just more entertainment.
more entertainment. So does anybody remember the name? If I had a prize, give you my old debit card.
How exciting.
I don't know if it's connected to anything.
It's not.
Or maybe the prize is this, Ferry and Morris Radish Crimson Giants. One package.
Oh, okay. I like radishes.
Whoever will pay more in shipping than that's right. Who was the guy? What was the guy's name when Ryan Seacrest and other guy hosted American Idol at first? Because that was the way it was set up. But then the other guy, I don't know, if Ryan Seacrest had him killed or
no, they just decided.
What happened to him?
Yeah.
Does anybody know who that was? Any ideas, Erica?
I mean, I remember it was Kelly Clarkson and Justin.
Real sweet. It's like the best thing that ever came out of that program, honestly.
I have the answer. It's Brian Dunkelman.
Oh, Brian Dunkelman. He's selling insurance somewhere in
it's the first season.
Arkansas, maybe. Oh, God.
All I remember is Kelly Clarkson, really, from that season anyways.
Yeah.
She's incredible. Yeah, she still is, Love that.
She's a great crush for sure.
That's right. Julie is having a good laugh, and Kylie is my new pal, so we get to connect. If anybody has any other questions for our good friend Erica,
the only thing that came up in the comments was something kind of interesting, and it had to do with a statement about a doppelganger.
No, yeah,
and. If you can, we can't really see the side by side this way, but
I could see it.
It's pretty close.
It's there.
So it was a good call by Allison, I think.
What's he got there? A camera? Some kind of fancy camera?
Yes.
Yeah, Canon.
Yes, that's Landon, by the way.
Landon.
Yeah.
I get Landon's going to be the kind of dealership guy that I could come down and he would be more than happy to let me slide across the hood of all the vehicles.
Yes, that's what I would guess too.
Totally.
The older I get, the harder it is to do. So, and I think I started that practice sliding across the hood of a 1969 Impala, and I ended up having to get a tetanus shot shortly after.
But see, those cars back in the day of the the metal bumpers and everything, you could slide across it and it wouldn't dent it.
And they fit 18 people.
That's true.
18 people and 3 cases of beer. Not that I know.
You can move boulders with them.
So here's a quickie, closing round questions, quick fire for you. You get 10 seconds. Best piece of advice you ever got about leadership?
Let the haters hate.
Bingo.
Nice.
Save time. Let the haters hate.
What's something most brands get catastrophically wrong that they don't even know that they're doing?
They're not focusing on the right things for their brand to stand out.
Okay.
Good.
That's like leaving the toilet seat up.
Yeah.
Okay. Put the toilet seat down.
Right. Come on now.
Okay. Well, we have something we call brand identity fog. And that means basically when a brand either established or getting started just doesn't have control of their narrative anymore, their story. And what happens is that their target audience, the buyers, can't place them. They can't trust them fast enough. What is the one move you'd have a brand or a dealership or anything like that? What would be the one move you'd have them make? Like this Monday, start doing this. We need to straighten our story. We need to build up our trust. What could be the first thing they'd start with?
Tell a story of where they help someone.
Okay. Yep. example and proof. I love that because that's the receipts. That's what proof and receipts build the trust.
Yep.
Right. Awesome. I love
100%.
that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Okay. And you are all over LinkedIn. We love it. You got great content. Are you doing any upcoming podcasts other than this one, of course?
I was just gonna say this is the only one I have right now, but I'm always open to more. But in 2 weeks, I'll be in Miami for the National Minority Dealers Association's meeting, NAMAD, for Rocan's annual event. So I'm very excited for that, where we have Vivian Tu, aka your rich BFF, coming to speak to our people. So yeah, it's really exciting. So.
Oh, I love that. And what else is planned for the summer? You're up in Maine. I told you I'm coming right by. I'll honk the horn when I go up 95. I might shoot over across 295. I don't know. I'll honk the horn.
Yeah.
What do you got going on the rest of the summer?
Well, not much. My dad's birthday is coming up, so excited to celebrate that with him and the family. And then other than that, just kind of relaxing and enjoying the summer after my next trip. So.
Okay.
How about you guys?
Very
Anything
cool.
Besides going to the lake?
I got my vacation. A couple of weeks up in Maine. Easy peasy. Island life.
Right. Are you gonna have a lobster roll?
Oh, the best is in a good place.
Dude, you know how much a lobster roll costs?
It's like $32.50, isn't it?
Oh, please. It's like $45. No.
$45 lobster.
My plan is to call one of my buddies up there. He's not really a buddy, but an acquaintance. And when he comes in, when he's coming in from his lobster trap, pulling up, whatever they call that technically, I'll meet up with him on one of the docks, and he'll hook me up.
That sounds amazing.
The way to go. And the beauty of that is, and I learned this up there, is that, when you get your lobsters, run down to the beach and gather up a whole bunch of seaweed.
Yeah.
And then you can cook the lobsters in it. You can put that on top of it and then cook them in it, and it keeps them nice and juicy.
I never have heard that, but
yeah. Have you ever? Are you a lobster gal?
I don't mind lobster, but I like crab and like clams more usually. It's a Portuguese in me.
Eating a lot of that too. My wife was like, "Don't bring anything crazy," and I'm like, "Dude, I'm bringing all the crazy." And she's like, "Yeah, but there's other people that don't want to eat that," and I'm like, And
well, I mean,
that's like such a New England thing too. The clam thing. So like fried clams. I can hear my mom saying, "Make sure they have the bellies on the clam." Like she's adamant about it.
Oh yeah. Looks like we got a couple of stop by Topsum. I cut right through Topsum, Joshua. I do. Yes. I have to run right through Topsum. That's
not far from Topsum, actually.
Yeah, to get around Brunswick and Bath. I can't sit in that crazy traffic. I won't do it. We've got podcast suggestions here for you.
Yes, I love Dave Foy.
Dave Foy. Sounds familiar.
Yes.
Oh, he's amazing. He's actually in Western Mass. So.
Oh, okay. This has been so much fun, Erica, and I'm so glad. I wish we'd gotten to it sooner, but at the same time, then it would have been over and in the review mirror. I'm so glad we got to do this. I loved getting to meet you because I only know you from your content, and this is the first time we've ever actually got to chat. No,
this has been amazing. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Anybody that's not connected with Erica, please, you should go ahead and do that. Follow her. She's got great content. Obviously, she is highly intelligent and talented. I also want to say I'm sorry to hear about your mom. That is a big one. That is tough. But as they say, she's just in another room of the house, right?
She's always with me. I lost my grandmother on September 12th and then my mom on November 12th. And so, it was a tough 6-ish months, right? Between everything. It was a 6-week battle with cancer, bile duct cancer. And, at the end of the day, I'm really fortunate that I not only work for an amazing company that gave me the time to be with her, and actually said no, right? Like, no, take this time. You don't know how long you have. And I had the last 3 weeks uninterrupted. And I actually went on the ambulance ride home with her for hospice, and it was tough. The nurse came to me and was like, "Hey, I need you to understand she might not make it home, right? Like this, she
right.
might go in the ambulance." And I just said the same thing I said for my grandparents. I said, I just promised to get them home, right? Like that's all I need to do.
Yep.
And we're in the ambulance, and I have a back injury from a car accident when I was in Chicago. And it started to tense up, and I started getting really uncomfortable, and I'm trying to hold it in, and she could tell. And she goes, "I'm not dying today, Erica." And I was like,
"Not about you, Mom."
yeah. And I was like, okay, And I was
Right.
like, she's like, "We're both strong." And I'm like, I learned from the best. And I got
Yeah.
her 3 days at home with her. And, death has taught me that at the end of the day, we just got to be good to each other, and we've got to do what we can, because we never know how long we have. So.
That's right. That's right. You know what? You did right by your family. Very well. Very well done. And that counts, and that matters. I know from experience that matters. It really does. And they know it. So I just loved this conversation today. You're a real human being, and you're kind, and you're smart, and you're talented. Thank you for joining us. I hope the rest of you clowns out there in the audience enjoyed yourself. Next time, I want to see more of this Kylie character. And Landon, you're always welcome. Allison.
Yes.
Get back here. And I might tell you, Allison, frankly, I would avoid Hampton Beach. I don't know.
Yeah, it's been kind of.
Unless you want to rip butts. And
there's been some
weird
shootings.
Now, Gunquit, that area, really fun. Good area.
That's right. Old Orchard Beach is funky and cool.
I love a good OOB pizza and then fried dough,
all that stuff is good. Yep, that's right. Yep, it's all good. So I want to thank you again. Hey, Richard, you finally made it. For God's sakes, you're late. All right, Erica, I hope you have the very best day. And
thank you, guys.
Yeah, and we'll be back next week, Jeff, right?
Yes, we have Gina Cecilia.
She's
Who's the founder of Gina's Skinny Italian.
Yeah, but
pasta
it's weird
and
because
sausage.
she's Irish.
She's not Irish.
Yeah, Jeff, the name.
But she's also a singer, though, too.
That's right.
Yeah, that's
all right. So if you're around next week, Erica, drop into the audience, and we can you can help us pepper Gina with questions.
Yes.
All right.
That sounds great.
All right, guys. This is where the dogs of society howl, and it's every Thursday at 1:30 p.m. Don't fuck it up. It's Eastern Standard Time.
That's right.
EST or EDT, whichever you choose. And we'll be back week after week. And if you missed today's show, or you want to catch up on some of the other shows with some of the other weirdos we've talked to, they're all on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube. But they're not at Barnes & Noble. Okay.
They're not.
There's no way you can get them there. And anyways, if you're interested, I'd really like everyone to remember that we could do one of two things here.